our last and final build episode of the WRX engine build. And today is quite possibly the biggest day. It's dyno day. Injectors and the upgraded high pressure fuel pump, which thankfully, very gladly, actually showed up. So let's go finish the fuel and then we'll get it on the dyno. So if you guys watched the last episode, you would know that our air suspension actually took a crap on us yesterday and completely just stopped working. So we actually swapped over to the Evolved Autosport coilovers last night, and honestly, I kind of like the ride of the coilovers better than I like the ride of the air suspension on the car. So we actually have not set the ride height yet. We can honestly lower the front just a little bit more, but for transportation and dyno and everything, I think that it's fine just the way it is.
It's good enough.
It's good enough for now, and then once we get it back home and we start doing the entire makeover, that's when we can adjust suspension, see if we get a different air management kit. We have a little bit of time to think about all of that stuff. But I'm kind of stoked how it turned out. Thankfully, all of our fuel stuff showed up. We were super worried that none of this was going to come in and we would just have to tune on stock fuel.
Which would be...
Well, the 85, but...
Which would be super...
Yeah, it would suck. So we got the Nostrum upgraded injectors, as well as the XDI high pressure fuel pump, which means we can turn it up, baby.
We can turn it up. Now I should preface, I don't believe this is a pump that XDI at least currently offers. Maybe if you guys give them a bunch of love, they might. Okay. But we actually, some people here know the guys over there, and they kind of helped us out because we were in a bit of a bind, and
they built us a custom high pressure fuel pump, basically.
So this should be very similar, if not the same, to the Nostrum pump.
Okay.
Maybe.
Which we could not get. We could get the Nostrum injectors, we couldn't get the pump. So the guys over at XDI built us one, and it should be pretty freaking sick.
Super sick, nasty, delicious.
All of this is going to allow us to still run E85, turn the fuel up so that we can inject this freaking car with some power.
We're going to inject her up. Just going to shoot some...
fully bolted, fully injected.
Fully everything. Fully done up. I mean, honestly, at this point, there's only like aesthetics that really haven't changed.
Exactly. We did suspension. We did a full engine, full accessories all over the engine.
Fuel system.
Fuel system, it's sick.
Now it's a complete fuel system.
Yes.
We did it all. We did it in, what, 5 days?
5 days.
5-day engine build. Let's see how much power we can make.
I'll save you guys the nonsense of having explained to you a lot about taking all of this back off. We're just going to go ahead and knock it out. We have to remove our intake manifold to reach the injectors, and then we can also knock off our high pressure fuel pump once the intake manifold is off as well. We'll throw it all back on, and this thing will be set and ready to go.
Double bro fist.
Stock injectors. Let's take a look at the Nostrum injectors here. Pretty much are going to look the exact same. It's a little bit shinier.
OEM high pressure fuel pump out.
Nice.
Replaced with. You like that spin I just did?
That was good. That was good.
That was good. New and sexy.
Wow.
Look at that. Little logo etched in there.
Wow.
Whoa. Similar, but different.
It's gonna be a lot juicier.
Extra beefcake.
Extra beefcake right here. Billet goodness. Let's throw it all back in. We're the dynamic duo here.
Like a dynamic duo. Comment, like, subscribe. If you want to see more content with Kyle and Dud, let us know in the comments down below.
high pressure fuel pump. We
Twice.
may have had a hiccup where it was spewing fuel, but you guys didn't see it, so it didn't happen, right?
It happened in our hearts and our minds.
Yeah. But now, Kyle is loading on the new tune. We're gonna pull this thing out and we're gonna put her on the dyno.
We're gonna go get some fuel.
Yes, we need the 85. Let's do that. Getting the go juice. So we're gonna fill her up with E85. As you guys know, I'm still running the Delicious Tuning Flex Fuel system. Kyle here is doing a little bit of a long run. He knows what he needs. So driving a little bit, putting the 85 in, and then we'll be able to load this thing onto the dyno. All right, I'm gonna be tuning the car today. Pressing the plus button. Up, 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 up.
Is that all you think tuners do is just hit the up button?
Where's the plus button?
Can't find it. Don't need to be using it.
All right, we're gonna get this thing back to the shop. Wow. We're gonna get this thing back to the shop and sort it out. It is finally time. What we have been working for all week and planning for so long, the engine build is about to come full circle. All right, we got the WRX set up on the dyno. She's strapped down. Kyle is ready. You ready to make some sauce?
Ready to do something or another.
For good luck, come by. It's Coast O'Clock. One of my favorite flavors. Sauce her up, baby. I'm excited to hear like a full-on throttle, full pull of this thing. Oh man, our first dyno issue has arisen, but it's a very, very small issue.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we were running the stock map sensor, and that actually maxed out. Luckily, we're of course at MAP, which means they have everything that we need, thankfully. So we went ahead and got an upgraded map sensor that should hopefully be good to go for now. We can actually turn everything up. I don't even think we got a full pull. Should be good to go now.
So I'm just doing a couple of half pulls, just gonna figure everything out, see where the map is, make sure everything's working correctly. So just kind of ease it into it, not starting super hard. Car should be on wastegate. Max the stock map sensor out immediately. So supposedly this is like an 18 or 19 PSI spring. So we put the 4-bar in. We're gonna see what it's at now. So scroll over there.
So there's a lot of moving parts here that's taking a lot of getting set up. So well, I'll get you guys once Kyle's ready to do full pull. having a tad bit.
We're having a doozy of a day.
Yeah, it's a little tad bit of trouble here. We just had to pick the 130-degree weather to tune the car in today. Just one of those circumstances. We don't know what's going on. What's happening?
Things look normal and look okay in the logs, but the car just isn't really...
It's not reacting.
Exactly.
So the car, the highest power the car's made is what, like 364?
Yeah, so about what it made before.
About what it made before, which is really, really strange. And of course the heat definitely has something to do with it, but I mean the graph is weird.
Yeah, the graph is super.
The graph is super weird. So one thing that we are going to try is grabbing a 20-pound bag of ice and throwing that on the intercooler to see if cooling the intake temps does anything. But if not, we may be in a pickle because my flight today is at 10 o'clock and it is currently 5 p.m. So if the ice doesn't help, then we might be
a little bit hosed.
But it's okay because the car is staying here while I'm gone, at least for a week or so. So hopefully while I'm gone, Kyle can have some time to work on this and figure it all out. I mean, the car does have a built engine, upgraded turbo. I mean, everything's new on it, so a lot of things have to be changed. We're gonna try the ice thing out before we call it quits for today. But that's just what we're going through. That's just part of it, you know? Told you guys at the beginning of this build, when you do builds like this, things don't go as planned, and you know, and today might be one of those days, but it's fine. At least everything works, everything is running. We just gotta figure out the power. This could be our saving grace here. Let's hope it is. Let's try out the ice. That's what we're gonna try. All right, so it's currently 97 in here, dropped down from 102. It's a little bit cooler in here. Plus we have the ice. Let's see what happens. There she is, coming alive a little bit. It's a little better.
A little better. Let's see the log.
All right, 387, so almost to 400. That's a little bit over a 20 horsepower jump, so definitely the hot air is killing us a little bit.
The end of the dyno session last week with Dustin is now fast forward Tuesday. It's a week later after Dustin left, having some issues with the car and the dyno, just kind of fighting us a little bit and struggling to make power. I am happy to reveal to you guys that that's figured out for the most part now. So we are sitting at, see if it'll focus, 469.96. We're gonna call that 470, and 465 foot-pounds of torque, and that graph looks much happier. So I won't go into detail too much just because I don't want to bore you or kind of say some nonsensical things. But I won't go into too much detail as to what was preventing the car from making power like that. What I will kind of explain is DI, so direct injected engines, are vastly different than port injection, and there are things that are critical to tuning them that are much more important to pay attention to. And in the kind of rush that we kind of forgot the basics a little bit. So taking a step back and just really sitting down with the car. I also had the help of my good friend Brian May, who is a very skilled and talented calibrator who primarily tunes BMWs or late model BMWs and RS3s and TTRSs. So he has a ton of knowledge when it comes to DI fuel systems. So him and I kind of sat in the room and just bounced off ideas on each other and kind of just figured out what worked for the car. Obviously there's a ton of brand new parts on here, so it's not uncommon for the first session to kind of go poorly. That's just kind of the way these things go, especially when you have myself and frankly another tuner who isn't super well versed in this platform. But like I said, the car's making great power. There might even be a little bit more to squeeze out of it, but at this point I was satisfied with what we had reached so far, so I wanted to kind of check in with you guys and show you what we made and how far we've gotten. So the car is running full E85 straight out of the pump. A lot of people were skeptical due to this car having TGVs placed back on it. As you can see, the car had no issues making power. So I'm gonna keep kind of wrenching on this thing and just make sure it's all good for Dustin when it gets shipped out this Friday. But I wanted to, like I said, give you guys an update and film a couple runs and just do a little bit of talking to kind of explain where we are at. If I squeeze any more out of it, I will be sure to let you guys know in a much shorter format. But for now, this is where we're sitting. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I told you guys I would update you if we found any more power to be extracted from the car, and kind of did. Kept turning it up, just cranking boost, cranking timing, making sure the car is happy, and honestly it seems to get happier the more we throw at it. So still kind of limited by fuel, so that's why the boost does taper off a bit. Let's see if I can. It's 488, 482. The graph looks great. It's even with the boost dropping, but the ignition timing climbing, it's still pretty happy over here. So we're gonna just keep at her and see what it does. Adding another degree after that last run I just showed you guys, didn't pick up any power, so I think we're probably at our MBT level. As you can see, 487, 481, and this is all done. Turn these guys on for a second. With a top mount intercooler, a drop-in turbo, and TGVs installed. So I would say that is pretty solid. And it's not a particularly cold day. I'd say this is an average Minnesota end of summer, beginning of fall day. It's about 88 degrees in the dyno room as it sits. So I'd be pretty happy with that. The car has been super happy to take all the power that we've thrown in it. Like we said, it's got the Kelper 272s, ARP studs, Tomei head gaskets, and then of course the IAG 600 horsepower open deck block. So plenty of supporting mods. Like I said, it would have been nice to have the port fueling. Maybe would have been able to push the turbo a little bit up in the high end. But you know, right now I just am at the mercy of what was available to us. And honestly, damn near 490 horsepower. And the torque is what's staggering to me. So, you know, we are at that, you know, just shy of 490. We'll call it 490 for YouTube. 490 wheel horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque. That's a fast street car. I mean, that's a pretty quick dailyable street car. You know, another platform's making a ton of power, but if you think about a 4-cylinder, 2-liter, DI only, no port fueling, I think we could probably squeeze a little bit more out of it, if not flatten that graph out a little bit if we had some port fueling in there, or if somebody comes up with you know, a set of bigger direct injectors, or, you know, even some more tweaking of the fuel pump. I think we could even squeeze a little bit more out of that. But, you know, if you were a BRZ intake manifold guy or something like that, you could probably squeeze a little bit more out with port fueling. So, like I said, guys, this build is completely replicable. If you want any of these parts, visit maperformance.com, and every single one of these parts is available from us. Since Dustin's first video has already come out at this point, we already had somebody hit us up for pretty much an identical build. So if you guys are looking to have basically, if you're looking for a 500 horsepower V8 WRX, this is the cookie cutter build sheet that you would want to follow. So I'm going to drive this car home and kind of enjoy it for the rest of the week while I have it before it gets shipped off to Dustin. Super appreciative of him giving me the chance to work on this, hang out with him some more, and do some tuning. I love this kind of discovery work. I know it's kind of a drag in the beginning trying to watch this stuff. It seems like you're struggling. It seems like everything's just going wrong, but you always figure things out and you always just push through, and that's kind of the way that the mentality you have to have if you're going to be somebody like me and try and take on a bunch of stuff at once.
As our WRX build here in Minnesota comes to a close, at least for me, we have one thing left to do. We are all gonna head out to a little local Minnesota car meet, which is my favorite. I love heading out to car meets, cruising with friends, especially after finishing the car. Now, before we head out, I'm wiping the car down with Meguiars. And as you guys know, we've partnered with Meguiars for the past few years, and it's been amazing. Meguiars kind of preaches reflect your passion. They're all about passion and showing your passion, and that's kind of what this build is for me. This is my absolute dream build. When I first started, the kind kind of build that I could have never dreamed of, and that's what I want for the WRX. We've started out here at MAP with the fully built engine, and now it's going to come back home for the full makeover. And like I told you guys, since this is a passion build and Meguiars is all about reflecting your passion, I'm super excited to announce that we are partnering up with Meguiars for the WRX build and bringing you guys this car to SEMA. The WRX, when it's fully complete and the full build is finished, will be at the Meguiars outdoor display at SEMA, so you guys can come check this thing out in person. Like I said, we've already started with the engine build, and next up, this thing is coming home for a complete makeover, and we're working with Meguiars to make sure that this thing looks fantastic. Actually, just wrapping up today by wiping the car down with a ceramic detailer and getting this thing looking fresh before our local meet. And when this thing gets back to us, we have a ton of plans. I am so excited to show you guys. One last thing before we go, we've got tons of WRX boys here at MAP. I gotta hook my boy up.
What?
Another
No
DGM.
way.
Yes, for
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching, and sick Subi, man.
Thank you.
I'm jealous of the new bumper. Let's give her a little test. All 390 horsepower. Ready? Dude, the blow-off sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
That's cool. It's different.
pulls pretty decent.
All right, made it to the little Minnesota meet. We're gonna look at some cars, and then we gotta head to the airport and finally go home. What do we got here?
It's a Montucky cold snack.
Is this a Minnesota beer?
It's actually Wisconsin beer, but it is the unofficial beer of Montana.
Let's give her a rip. Cheers.
You didn't say it right.
This is American. This is American.
You can't do the.
You're right. A light summer's breeze. That's what
Yeah,
this is.
no, this is a perfect summer beer. Like this and hams, can't beat it.
The Midwest is just so friendly. Look at this nice beer. Enjoying it.
Literally the first time I've ever met you.
Well, Minnesota, it's been real. It's time for us to head home. Little car meet was awesome. It's always great getting to meet you guys out and about. But Kyle's gonna take the WRX and drop me off at the airport, and we're heading back home for California, at least for a couple of days.
Dustin's always got somewhere to go.
You know. All right, Kyle, this week has been amazing. I know.
Act like we're at the airport.
Come here. The viewers love you, so hopefully we get to come back soon, maybe for another project. But for now, take care of her, and we'll see the WRX soon.
Yes, we will.
Brother,
It's been real.
until next time.
It's been really good.
It sounds really good. Let's go home.